Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Buenos días a todos. Bon après, mille à tous. Konbanwa, minasan. 안녕하세요, 여러분. Shanghao. Dobry Zen. Good morning, kingdom. Every time I say good morning, kingdom, there's so much power in the word kingdom. Wow, God, you are so good. Because I certainly would not have come up with that idea. How are you guys? Let me know how your morning is going. Let me know how your Monday went. Be sure to please let me know. And as always, since we are such an international community, let me know where you're tuning in from. Texas! Hello! I've been to Texas one single time. I mean, I did stay there for a little bit, like maybe a month, but I have been to Texas before. I don't have anything to say about Texas. Like I didn't really get to explore, so I didn't really get to get the lay of the land, or I didn't really get to talk to people in Texas even. The circumstance, well, because we'll probably get to read about it in my book. And for those of you who are new, this is your first time seeing me, I'm talking about this book right here, which is Nevermore Abandoned. So this is the book I'm talking about, my memoir. And if you want to get on the mailing list, one moment, you guys. And if you would like to get on the mailing list to keep up to date with updates on the book, you can find that information in the description box below. Oh. Okay, so I want to start off by telling you guys about a dream that I just had, okay? Hang on one moment, I need to look something up really quickly. Jeez. Holy crap, you guys. One moment. Hang on, you guys. Okay, if you guys had a dream last night, please put it in the comments. I need to do something really quickly. Oh gosh, I remember. Oh, that was such a long dream. My goodness gracious. Hang on, you guys. Okay. Please share your dream in the comments. No, that's not what happened. Guys, keep sharing your dreams in the chat. Guys, I'm rewriting this dream that I just had, and I'm kind of realizing it might not have been just a dream, so I have to quickly write it before I forget. And I'm honestly super tickled about some of the things that happened in my dream. I'm sending you guys like a small hint after I'm done writing it, because I need to, before I forget, because I should have wrote this down a while back, but I didn't think it was that kind of a dream, and I'm still not sure it is, but I kind of think it might be. Okay. Hot. Hot. I'm always so surprised that it's so hot. Okay. I'm not saying anything embarrassing didn't happen in this dream, okay? And it isn't truly embarrassing, it just was, kind of embarrassing to me personally. Like, if this happened in real life, I would personally feel something. What did he say? Guys, one second. I'm almost done. Oh gosh, okay. Oh, I have written it, you guys. I have written it. Whoa. Honestly, this dream was so big that I did not think it was this kind of dream. And it's possible it may not be, but it probably is. Oh my goodness gracious. I have no idea. Like, ugh. It's not true that I don't have any idea, but so I'm just gonna tell you guys the meat and bones of this dream. In the meat and bones, the meat and potatoes of this dream, I met Chris Pratt. He was in my dream. And it felt very real, okay? It felt so real. It felt so real that when I woke up, it felt like I had met him. Like, in fact, it felt so real that it feels like I'm going to meet him. The only thing that throws that into question is whether it was actually just a prophetic dream, because when I looked up the meaning of his name, Chris means bearer of Christ. Oh, so deep and specific. My goodness. To bear or to carry Christ, to have Christ within. Ooh, that is so specific and deep. Pardon me, you guys. I actually did get in bed much earlier last night than usual, but I'm still tired. I got in bed at 9 last night. And here I am. Still very tired. Okay. And then Pratt, his last name, is a clever trickster. Oh gosh. Are you guys kind of following me here? You may not. And it's like, whoa. It felt extremely specific and deep when it was bearer of Christ. And then you add a clever trickster to the end of that, and it's like, whoa, geez. And so this may have been a prophetic dream, and and it's like, oh gosh, I've got plenty of work to do on this. But my concern is that I didn't write it down when it was over, because my dreams aren't usually that long and extensive, and this one was like really long. And there was Chris Pratt, and so it was exciting, and I just thought it might have been a regular dream. But just looking up the name Chris Pratt, it's like, ooh, ouch. I probably have a prophetic dream here, and I just need to get clarity from God about what that means. Oh my goodness. So yeah. Oh gosh. Oh jeez. I don't even know where to begin on this dream. I have quite a bit of work ahead of me on this, because the last time I had a dream and I, let's just say, translated it, it really took me a long time. I mean, it took me hours to, let's go with the word, decipher it, okay? So, I am, I'm curious about what this is going to mean. Yeah. Let's see in the chat. Okay. Okay, I can't remember my dreams. I don't have dreams. I don't remember. Okay, so a lot of you guys don't remember your dreams. I'm the same. I either don't dream or I don't remember them. And I feel like I don't dream a lot. I used to dream every night. And then I took a class, and this teacher talked about dreams and how, well, I don't want to go there. But let's just say that ever since this class, I stopped dreaming. And for me to actually have a dream is so rare. And I started having dreams because God was giving me prophetic dreams. So the only dreams that I have now are prophetic dreams from God. And so when this dream this morning happened, I thought, oh my God, it was like a regular dream. And I met Chris Pratt, and it was so exciting and it was fun. And then I looked up the name and I was like, oh, it's just prophetic. But prophetic, but like, what does it mean though? Like, I like felt so real. Am I really gonna meet Chris Pratt? And in the dream, I met him. It was like a meeting. It wasn't like I already knew him or that we're friends or anything. No, no, no. It was actually just meeting him. And he asked me, like, what do you do? And I was like, I'm an actress. Now, I don't remember in this dream whether or not I was an actress. I'm kind of getting the impression that it's kind of something I was wanting to do and something that I had done a very, very little bit of. Like maybe like the truth, which is that, I have been an extra in a few commercials, or that, I did drama in college. I took a few college classes. Yeah, so that's my truth there. But like, I said to him, I'm an actress. And he was like, oh, really? Me too. And and then like where we were became very loud and rowdy and crazy. And so his attention shifted away from me. Like he started talking to me on his own, guys, okay? And started talking to me. And then it got really crazy. So, he kind of took his attention away from me. And all of a sudden, God had me just start singing. And I don't know if I've ever shared this with you guys, but I kind of made my singing voice disappear. Yeah. When I was 16, I made my singing voice disappear. I needed it to go away. I really didn't want it anymore at that time. And for about the last 2 years, I have been actively seeking my singing voice back. Which is interesting. I haven't been taking the approach of actually singing to get my singing voice back. I have been taking the approach of spirituality, doing energy healing work on myself, praying to God. And God told me my voice will return when it is time. God has kind of given me the impression that my voice is being protected by it being away, hibernating, sleeping, however you want to say it. So anyway, in this dream, I just start belting out, very powerfully and beautifully, something. It just came to me. It wasn't even a real song. It just was like, I just started singing. And while the cafeteria was still being loud, it wasn't a real cafeteria, but it was like a cafeteria. Chris looked over at me and he was staring at me. And I didn't see him staring at me. I just know because I was, observing the dream. I saw him staring at me. And I'm going. I'm doing riffs, I'm doing the most, okay? And in the dream, from my observer's perspective, I saw him staring at me. And he wasn't, all whoa, or anything, but he was noticing me, And so then all of a sudden, I stopped. It's I became aware of the fact that I just randomly started singing. And so then I was I just kind of went, stopped. And so the cafeteria was getting, still loud. I was trying to say ruckusy and loud at the same time. They were still being kind of loud. And then Chris got up from the table, and then everybody kind of settled down. And he took a few steps, kind of that way, a little behind me. And what did he say to me? I wrote it down. Let me see what I said that he said. Let me see what I said that he said to me. Oh, okay. So when he was behind me, he said, "Hey, we should connect." And I said, "We should." I was being so calm and like relaxed, like no big deal. And but in this dream, I was a big fan of him. Okay, and I said, "Yeah, we should." And then he pulled his phone out, and I guess got to his contacts, and he handed me his phone, and he said, "Here, put your name and number in my phone." And so I put my name, Lisa, and then I put my phone number, and I handed it back to him. And I said, "I'm Lisa." And he looked at the phone, and he said, "Hi, Lisa, I'm Chris." Of course I knew that. And then he said save, and pressed the button on his phone. And he looked up at me and said, "It's nice to meet you, Lisa. We'll talk soon." And he did a big smile, and he waved. And I said, "It's nice to meet you too," as he was walking away. And he left the building. And that was my dream about Chris Pratt. And when I woke up, it was like, that was real. That was real. And then I was like, God, am I meeting Chris Pratt? Are we meeting? Are we gonna meet? And I just feel like this, okay, it's gonna be weird, but I feel like a supernatural connection to him. And I was watching, we're well over time, you guys, but I think you guys are gonna forgive me on this. I was watching one of his, if not his most recent release, the Terminal List. And while I did actually find that show to be, oh gosh, quite on the, I don't know which word I want to choose here. There were a few moments in the show where I had to turn my eyes. I had to look away. And there's this thing with God where I ask God, I say, God, because I realized I had to do this with my children. I say, God, shield my eyes, shield my ears, guard and protect my eyes and my ears and my heart. Because I had to do that with my children. God, protect my children's eyes, my ears, and my heart, their hearts. And it's my job as their parent to do so as well. And so, for a good time, I stopped watching certain shows. Actually, I stopped watching all television. In fact, I don't even watch that much television, if we're going to be very honest. But God kind of reintroduced television back into my life as a way of relaxation, because I was not good at relaxing. And so God would just literally plop me down in front of the television and say, "Here, watch this whole season of this show." And it'd be like, oh, and so I'd like get on my bed and, okay, so some of you, this has happened to you too. Thank you for telling me that. And it'd be like, I'd lay down or sit there and consume an entire season or entire show. And when I got back up, I was revitalized and I was rejuvenated, and it's like I was refreshed. Revitalized, rejuvenated, and refreshed. Remember those RE words that we were going over in that other day? There's 3 more words for us. Some of them probably already on the list, but the point is those RE words are incredible words. So, so God has like made television like this sanctuary in whatever I'm in, okay? So I could go from not watching TV for weeks or a month to being sat down by God and essentially told to sit down and consume hours and hours and hours of television. It's like a recharging process. So anyway, but there was a time where the content had to be very gentle. So God actually had me watching a lot of anime. And I know that there's a lot of anime that is not so gentle, but anime is not, it doesn't have the same effect. Not any anime I've ever seen. Like even if it's like, let's say like a violent anime. Ooh, that depends though, because some of them, but let's just say for the most part, even violent animes, they don't have like this lingering effect inside of my body, my being, my soul, my spirit. It just doesn't happen. And so God was only letting me watch like these super, super gentle shows and anime. And like I was just really protecting in here. It was like a very sensitive time for me. But then I guess God released me from that. And so now what happens is if I'm watching something very violent or violent, when I go spend time with God, I ask God to release and remove that residue that may have been imparted and imprinted within me. And He does. And when I am done with God, it's as if I watched the show, but it didn't make, it didn't leave anything in me. I've got the memories of it. I know it happened, but it didn't make an imprint inside me, like with the darkness or whatever may have been conveyed. So, back to the terminal list. It's so interesting. I was definitely guided to that show. And when I saw Chris, I was like, wow, I really like this actor. And I'm not the kind of person who says things like that. Like when I was younger, I'd be like, oh, I totally have a crush on this person. I'll confess to you, 2 actors that I have had a crush on, okay? Okay. I think my first crush was Matthew Lillard. And it was when he was in Hackers. I developed a huge crush on Matthew Lillard from Hackers. I just thought he was so cool. And he had his little braids, I just thought, wow. I was like, hack the planet! Matthew Lillard. I don't know why I didn't have a crush on the main guy. I don't know how that even, I don't even know how that happened. Oh, you know what? Going back further, my first crush was actually, oh gosh, what's his name? You know what? I have his first name, but I can't think of his last name, so let me just look him up. Elijah Wood. My first crush was Elijah Wood in The Good Son and any other movie that he had when I was a kid. So my first crush was Elijah Wood, okay? Then Matthew Lillard. And then Cillian Murphy in 28 Days. And 28 Days Later, Cillian Murphy. Okay, and if I'm gonna say I had a girl crush, it would have had to have been Sandra Bullock from like all of her movies like Forces of Nature and what was that movie where they were like on a bus? Anyways, like that time period, like I just thought like she was just so incredible and amazing. Yeah. Okay, so those are my crushes. But, those days are long gone. I mean, 28 Days Later, that was a long time ago. So, when I saw Chris Pratt, and I was like, I really like this actor, it really took me by surprise because I don't have those kinds of thoughts. I don't have even that kind of a perspective. And it was definitely not like this crush thing. It was just like, I felt like he's like a good guy. Like I just thought, wow, he's a good guy. But of course I know nothing about him. So, the terminal list. I started watching it and I'm like, it's an interesting perspective. I really want to support Chris as an actor. Last time I decided I wanted to support anyone in that specific and super conscious way, that would have been Britney Spears around that time, a long time ago, with that controversy with, what was that guy's name? Chris. that guy on YouTube, Chris, I can't think of his last name, but he was like, leave Britney alone, right? I chose to consciously support Britney through that time by buying one of her albums, even though I was not like a fan. I wasn't a fan of her work, but I decided to purchase an album to support her. So I'm not like the kind of person who like thinks of a celebrity and goes, oh, I want to support them. It happened with Britney a long time ago, and then with Chris, I was like, I want to support him and I want to watch this, but gosh, God, this, had to look away, and God kind of gave me the go ahead to keep watching it, and so I looked away and continued watching it, and the next morning when I went to God, because I go to God every morning, I asked God to remove whatever was lingering in me from that show, and God and the angels, they literally like removed it from my body, and at the moment it was done, like I felt light again. And so I continued watching the show. And then the next morning I went to God and I said, God, please remove anything, that doesn't belong in me. Anything that isn't of you, remove it. And it was gone. And I continued watching the show. And when it was over, I was just like, I really like him. I really like him as an actor. I mean, as a person, not an actor. And then I was actually telling my daughter about how, I feel somehow an impact from this actor. And I couldn't think of his name at the time. My daughter looked him up. She's like, oh, him. Oh, yeah, he's in Jurassic Park. And I was like, oh, yes, because I love Jurassic Park. Like, I don't know why, but I love Jurassic Park. And then we realized he was in something else. And I was like, oh, my God. Wow. But it's like the Terminalist is when I really was able to connect and be like, wow, I really like him. And then I somehow came across a clip of him talking about God on, was it Jimmy Fallon? I think it was Jimmy Fallon, and I don't watch those either. Like, I don't watch that stuff. Okay, I don't know what show he was on, but I think it was Jimmy Fallon. But then he started talking about God and like how it just his beliefs about God, and I was like, I was floored. I was struck. I was, I just thought, wow, God, you are so good, because I felt like this sort of like, I don't know, it's like a camaraderie, or like a sense of like brotherhood, sisterhood with him. And when I heard him talking about God, it was like, okay. It's like, okay. It's like it almost made sense. It's like, I can like see this. And I did just watch the new Jurassic Park. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm a fan of him. But I don't know if it's a fan like as an actor. I feel like it's like a fan like as a man, right? Like, and I felt like he was a good person. And like listening to him talk about God, it really floored me. And he just seems like such a down-to-earth person. Anyways, when God gave me this dream and he was in it, I was like, oh my God, am I gonna meet him? Are we gonna connect? Are we gonna like link up? Are we gonna link up? So anyways, guys, that's why I was so excited about the dream. But I don't know, it could just be a prophetic dream that isn't actually about Chris Pratt. It could be because of his name. So anyways, time will tell whether I actually meet Chris Pratt and whether, I don't know, we become like friends or like work together in something, Time will tell. That's us for today, guys. This turned into an extra long show. I do apologize. I had to write that dream down before I went any further and forget more details. So, yes. Okay. We are soon going to get back to our talk about creating heaven on earth. And my ask for you today is that you see, hear, taste, touch, and smell heaven today more than ever before. That God make heaven real in your life and my life. And with that, I will see you guys here tomorrow at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard